Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to the Euro 2024 Matchday 2 preview pod of the FPL Wire. I'm your host, Zofa, and I'm joined by my co host, Late Riser. How are you enjoying the football so far, Ilar?
Doing good. Podcasting from the away end, as you'd like to call it today. Actually, some last minute dilemma. My uh, people from home messaged that the electricity went just 10 minutes before I was reaching home. So I immediately called up my aunt and my bhabhi, and I'm like, can I just crash your house to podcast? And they were like, yeah, feel free. So I have usurped my nephew's home at the moment. Shout out to them. Thanks for letting me into their house. And yeah, man, podding in unfamiliar settings, but have really enjoyed the football, man. I'm so glad we did this entire. We took the decision to do fantasy for Euros because it's just such a fun format. I was talking to Pras this morning as well. It's great for a short tournament. I can't go on like
Yeah,
this for a
I can't imagine
year.
how people play Sky Fantasy football for the Premier League, right? Imagine you
Yeah,
do this stuff like week month to month, and there you actually need a captain every day. Here you can still do
correct.
without it. It's amazing how people get through that a whole year.
Exactly. I can't do it. I mean, but for a short tournament, it's great. Absolutely great. How about you? You've been enjoying it?
Yep, decent so far. I've been yesterday was a big day of upsets. And I mean, my dad's been watching the whole thing also, so it's fun to like go back and forth with games because generally people who don't watch the Premier League also somehow tournament football always draws the more what we call the casual public who don't necessarily watch football. And so a lot of friends who don't usually watch these are going in, and it doesn't feel that like now if the clean sheet gets wiped out, it's not like oh damn, it's just like oh shucks, clean sheet wiped out, big deal. It's a very
Yeah, man.
different feeling from FPL.
There's literally no pressure at all, right? I mean, day before I was before the England game, I was contemplating whether I should captain Kane or Bellingham. And my gut was telling, what, Jude is like a clutch player in such a tournament, he'll show up. And then I tweeted, heart says Jude, but should I really captain Kane? I'm like, you leave those things for when you're playing FPL, right? Like you want to get those juices out of the way, get those juices out of there. It's so much more liberating just to play that way.
Yep, yep.
Teams that's impressed you most so far?
I think Germany obviously have to be up there. Obviously, a little bit you have to read into the Scotland red card, but even without it, quite impressive to watch. Spain, very good. And Spain, the thing is, right, I haven't watched much of Spain recently. There's still that association of tiki taka from the Del Bosque era, but this is a very different team. They go back to front very fast. There's so many young ballers. I think they are the team I'm going to support now to win the whole thing. I like the whole vibe that they play, the way they play. Lot of young players. Spain all the way.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Germany as well. I do want to mention, I mean, we'll get into it when we look back at the results, but I thought Scotland were a little bit naive in terms of that high line against a team like Germany. They kept getting, Words got in behind that defense multiple times, so yeah. But before we get right into the swing of things, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick match day review in terms of the talking points. Then we're going to talk chip strategy, whether you should switch to a wildcard or a limitless if you weren't planning on, and whether you should do a wildcard or limitless. And after that, we will do a match day to preview with the best captaincy options for each day and the best picks for match day to wildcard.
We're fortunate there's no game kicking off at this time, so we're not really missing any football. To timestamp this, there's still a couple of games to go in match day one. We still haven't seen Portugal play. We haven't seen Georgia, Turkey play. So that information is still to be gained. But either way, let's jump into it. So the sponsor plug. So as you know, FPL Wire has partnered with NordVPN. If you're bored of the streaming libraries in your country, with NordVPN, you can access content outside your region, get access to a wider library on your favorite streaming services. And if you're traveling outside your country, you can access your home library content. Time for our weekly recommendations. Ella, you're quite excited about today. Tell me.
I mean, there's a couple of good shows on there. I still haven't seen the first episode of House of the Dragons, the new season. I mean, if you're into all of that, then you obviously need to watch that. I actually saw three 30-minute long recaps. And there was this one video which did the Easter eggs from Game of Thrones as well, which was phenomenal to watch. So obviously that should be on your list. And I started a new show from on Apple TV called Presumed Innocent. And this stars Jake Gyllenhaal. It's got a very Finding Jacob sort of. I don't know if that show was called Finding
It
Jacob or
was. Or
yeah,
Saving
it's
Jacob,
got
something like that.
something of that sort. It's got that sort of slow burn thriller vibe to it. The second episode was really good. I can't wait for the new episode that comes in tomorrow.
Yeah,
I recommend that one.
I've been watching Kin season 2 on Netflix. It's not on the India library, so I've been actually using Nord to access that. Very good show. I'm sure people in the UK have already been following it. Can't recommend it enough. Either way, it Nord also has an efficient anti-malware and anti-spyware protection tool. It highlights any attack and deletes it before it makes a mess of your computer. You can grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/the FPL Wire. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Sign up using the link in the description below. Right. Let's have a quick review of the games we have seen so far. Let's start with Germany.
Yeah, man. So my first thoughts I already mentioned. I thought Scotland were a little bit naive, and I'll just say that like I couldn't differentiate the front four in terms of points potential. Like if you're somebody who's going in with a wild card into Matchday 2 or feeling hard done by, oh, you know what, I'm going with Gundogan. He's the only one that only got one penalty one. I thought Gundogan was very unlucky. I thought he was really good in that game as well. I think any of the four could work out. Like the only thing that sort of stood out to me was that I don't expect Scotland to keep as high a line. I don't expect Hungary to keep as high a line against Germany that Scotland did. So maybe against a deeper block, the likes of Gundogan and Musiala might do better than Wirtz did. Wirtz got in behind that Scotland defense multiple times. He could have got a brace at least. Uh, Worth noting that Wirtz was the first one that got subbed off, and Gundogan and Musiala stayed on longer. I think Kai is also under threat from Fulkrug if things aren't working, etc., for like a early sub. So the only thing is I expect minutes for Gundogan and Musiala to be slightly more, about 15-20 minutes more than Wirtz and Kai. That's about it.
But that's a largely game state also, right? We can't really read that much into it because a lot of the times I think Hassan, who's a lifelong Germany fan, told us that Gundogan is the most likely to be subbed early, with Havertz
Correct.
coming in the 10 and Fulkrug coming in on the center forward. So, like you said, I think Musiala probably minutes wise seems like the best bet. And I think even Kai also, I don't see him necessarily getting subbed off too much.
Would you go double attack, double defense? Or let's do that when we actually do
Yeah,
the match
but
day
I would
too.
double attack. I
Yeah.
said right.
I
I'd
th-
definitely double attack. I think you'd go
and
with Watts and Musiala.
cool. Let's talk about anything to say in terms of Scotland. I don't think they're picks for
I mean, they're the team to target, unfortunately.
at least seems like based on the first performance. I don't think they'll be as bad as the first game,
You
but
do
yeah,
expect some sort of reaction from the Scots.
correct. Hungary, Switzerland. Surprising result, man. Switzerland were
Because
way,
we all
way,
projected
way.
Hungary to finish above Switzerland.
Yeah. And this is it, right? Like I mentioned in the last pod as well, the market odds seem to favor Switzerland. And I was like, the hype behind Hungary, everybody who I believe knows ball believes that Hungary is an up and coming team, but Switzerland were really, really good. Quite a few UEFA fantasy options from that team. Akanji got 11 or 12 ball recoveries. I think against Scotland, if you're somebody who's using a chip, he's nailed on in that defense, in my opinion, just because of the high floor. There's a good clean sheet potential, plus you're going to get like multiple ball recoveries also.
Correct. But yeah, in terms of Hungary, I don't think you'd go with Sobo now, even though it looks like a nice picture. I think they play Germany now, right?
Yeah, they play Germany.
Yes.
They,
Hungary
that said,
no-go.
they do tend to get better results against teams attacking them. So they're known to be a sort of good direct counter-attacking team. So if you're somebody who's got Soboslai and not using a chip, I don't think he's a hard sell. Yeah.
That would be fair. Spain,
Just want to
Croatia.
mention
Yeah.
in terms of Switzerland, though, there's a couple of options that stood out to me. Ebischer, who was a wingback, was really good. He got a goal and assist, but he's a 5 million mid in the game. And the other wingback on the other side, Widmer, he's a 4.5 million wingback. So if you're looking for a wingback against Scotland, Widmer is the guy you're going for. And Akanji obviously was a ball recovery beast. Vargas, who was a 6 million midfielder, is a good attacking option from Switzerland. 6 million midfielder. And the thing with going for a striker is I think Embolo might find his way into this team. So, I think you avoid the striker at the moment.
Spot on. Spain.
Man, I had Pedri and I felt hard done by, especially because in this game, Sook told me that you get 59 minutes for clocking the 60 minutes second point. I was 1 minute away from a 7-pointer from Pedri instead of a 5-pointer, but I was really impressed with this position. Shout out to Jazzy who directed me towards Pedri's way. He was the second striker behind Morata. Did really well. But Jamal Lewis, man, what an absolute player. I think he came across with the most shots, most chances created in this team. Absolute baller. Spain are just way more direct than they used to be. And I'm with you. Very, very impressed with everything I've seen from that team.
Now they play Italy. in this round. Do you still get a Spain player on a chip?
If you fancy an attacker, why not? I think you back Italy to maybe score one, but if you fancy an attacker, I don't think there's any problem getting a good attacker from a good team.
I'd agree with that. I think,
Yeah.
but there's some injury doubts around Morata. He's flagged as a potential injury doubt. I think he's expected to play, right?
Yeah, nothing that I've heard after that at the moment. So we'll have to wait.
Now, Croatia are a big one. I think they're a team we are looking to potentially double or triple up. And the plus thing is now Croatia lineups will be available to us before the
Exactly.
match day 2 deadline. So that's a big plus. I think at the back, Guardiola was pretty attacking. I think maybe
Yeah.
just carried over from Man City. I think he's definitely a lock. Somebody I might even bring in on a transfer.
He was expected to play centre back and he played left back and he was very, very attacking. I mean, he almost scored, good option. I think they have a 4 million defender as well, whose name I had noted down. Let me see if I can find it. One player who impressed me who did not start was Perisic. He's known to be a little bit of a legend in such big tournaments. So if the good thing with Croatia Albania is that we're going to get to see the lineups and react to that. So if you're somebody who has a chip, I think at least having two from Croatia, maybe even a triple up, knowing that you're getting three nailed starting players in that team, might be a good strategy against Albania, who didn't show much against Italy.
Correct. I think up top is quite interesting. I think Kramaric is on my radar. In midfield, the problem is all the likes of your Brozovic, Modric, etc. don't really offer that much, right? I think you have
No,
penalties with Modric, who was actually taken off when they were awarded the penalty. But I really don't think in midfield you can go there.
there's Meyer, who's a 6 million midfielder who was fairly attacking. In the last friendly before the tournament started, he scored a brace as well.
Yeah, he had some decent
So
stats, I think, in terms of shots
yeah,
as well. So he could
he did.
possibly
He
one.
did. There is Pongranic. He's the 4 million Croatian defender. If you're looking for a value pick, who enables everything else. So if you see that he's starting against Albania, then you can do that. Though I do want to shout out Stanisic. He's a wing back and had 6 balls recovered. Was fairly attacking in that Croatian team also. And I think my read from the Italy Albania game was that Albania are going to sit back and defend from minute 1 to 89th. They didn't lodge a single shot against Italy.
But
So I think
again,
this is
possible game state because they got that early goal.
but you expect Croatia to have control of this game, I reckon.
So they had 2+ XG even against Spain.
Exactly. Though a lot of that came from one chance where they had 2 or 3 chances back to back.
And the penalty as well.
Yeah. When we do look at Ropty's clean sheet odds, Croatia are second highest on there. So, definitely a punt worth taking. I think chip users will be looking to take advantage of this fixture.
Correct. Definitely one. I don't have anything that's not somebody not playing a chip, and I'm a little bit worried about Croatia representation.
Cool.
Italy?
I mean, a lot of good options in midfield that stood out, Pellegrini, Fratesi, they played decent football. Di Marco, man. I mean, I was shocked how attacking it was. I tweeted about it, and like at least 4 people commented, you know about Di Marco now. This is the first time you're watching it. I'm like, yeah, I don't play UEFA Champions League fantasy. It's the first time. He was amazing. Literally amazing. Like,
reminded me of Alonso.
Yeah, like if you don't know who to pick, I don't even mind, even if it's against Spain, just throwing him in there because he's legit like a winger, not even a wing back. Like he's that attacking. Always stationed himself at the far post. Yeah, like Alonso, man. Really, really good pick.
So somebody like Di Marco now, I think he's okay you can stick around if you're not using a chip. I think you just play him against Spain, hope for attacking returns.
Yeah, and you never know, right? It's Italy, right? They're capable of 1-0ing this game, if anything. So why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Next one. Poland. Again, they have favorable opposition. Over here, the rumors are that Lewandowski will be fit, but I don't think you're interested, Alan.
I think Austria have favorable opposition, not Poland. Like I was watching this game really closely because I punted on Memphis Depay, and he really should have had a brace at least. He was really, really attacking in this game, and I thought Netherlands had a lot of chances in this game. I think Poland and Scotland were the 2 teams that were top for shots conceded.
Conceded, yes.
In the games played so far. So I am not interested in Poland. I am interested in Austria though, because Ragnick has been cooking with this team. There was a 2-0 win in a friendly before the tournament also began. I thought they were really impressive against France. So yeah, I think Poland, I will be backing against them, not for them.
Yep. And I think the Dutch also looked quite good. I think Gakpo had more shots than any other forward, 5 shots. Did find the
Yeah,
net with the deflection, but again, they are playing France.
yeah. And the pick that stood out to me from this team was Ake. Like he created a fair few chances. He's good for ball recoveries as well. So when Netherlands do have an easier fixture in Matchday 3, or not an easy fixture, it's against Austria. But that's when we're probably looking at Netherlands. I don't think you're looking to bring in a Dutch player against the French.
Correct. Slovenia, Denmark. This was an interesting game. I expected Denmark to do better than they did. But it's
Yeah,
completely
and
the Ericsson show.
completely direction show in the first half. He was amazing. Really, really good. But Slovenia grew into the game in the second half. Like both our clubs have been interested in a certain Seshko. He was amazing, man. Shoot on sight, and all his snapshots were so good. They looked like they would go in. A decent punt because I think Slovenia and Serbia play each other in the next round in match day 2. I don't mind a punt on a Seshko in match day 2.
Makes sense. But again, I don't think either of them. Well, Denmark, they play England. So I think
Yeah,
that's an avoid over there.
correct. At the moment.
Probably somebody you look at in match day 3. Now,
Correct.
let's talk a little bit about England. I think that was possibly, I think, the lowest XG game combined. Now, do you think there's just a slow start or something, the expectation of things to come?
It was a poor setup. Very honestly, they're missing Luke Shaw a lot. Trippier can't play left back. There was no ball progression at all happening. Serbia was congesting the center, and England generally just had no width. Like the moment Bowen came on, he played wide and he put in a cross. He immediately found Kane, and Kane had like almost scored. So they didn't have wingers. So I do wonder if somebody like Gordon is on Southgate's mind to get in. But as options, there's not much that we didn't know. Kane, I do think though that Kane is not somebody who's going to stay quiet in such a tournament for
It's a
so long.
different role. He wasn't really dropping deep and doing the creative stuff that he's really good at. And I think you're sort of detracting from Kane's entire skill set by making him play that way.
Yeah. The thing is, he's got the runners around him at the moment, right? Though that's the thing. That's why Southgate wants him to play further because you've got Foden, Saka, and Bellingham. That's just a great three to have who are capable of holding the ball and creating chances. England actually started really well. I thought the first 45 minutes were good, but then they just fizzled in the second half. Didn't play, and once Serbia got going, they were knocking hard for a goal. But shout out to your boy who got you an 8-pointer, Mark Guehi, with I think it was what 8 or 9 ball recoveries as well. Really, really good. Yeah, good 4.5 million option. Whether it's against Denmark as well, I think it's just a good value pick.
He's a top player. Always a
Yeah.
big fan.
And shout out to my captain Jude, man. What a player. That first half was sensational. Like, he's a shout for man of the match genuinely every game, just because of how good he was. Like, you want to get the best players. I think that needs to come into our thinking when we're planning to do match day 2. Just wanted to shout that we are breezing past through the results because we are doing a match day 2 preview. So we'll talk about the picks that we like a lot more in detail then.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Serbia.
What are your thoughts on England though? Like, in terms of did they impress you? Didn't impress you?
I mean, it's very Southgate, right? They got the
Yeah,
result on the board, and I do think they'll start getting better. But again, we don't expect them to get your 4-5s and stuff.
got it, got it.
I still expect
So
them to make it out of the group comfortably.
yeah, especially now that they got the win against Serbia and the other match was a draw. That shows them in a fairly comfortable position.
Correct. This game I really enjoyed yesterday. Romania, Ukraine. Big upset. And remember, we talked up Romania. We talked up their
Yeah,
defense, but 3 quality goals. Well, not so much, especially the first one, but Lunin should have done better with the others.
yeah. Shout out to Kieran and iTaxi. Both of them were talking up Romania because every hipster was saying Ukraine, including me, was saying that Ukraine have such good players, etc. But Romania has a better sum of the parts in terms of they play more together as a team, whereas Ukraine seem like a team of selfish players who are trying to show their own skill set. Very Mudrik, right? Like that's what you get as an impression from this game. So yeah, impressive, and I love this group, man. With Belgium losing against Slovakia, this Belgian Romania game has so much riding on it. The group split wide open. Romania is not going to be an easy opposition for Belgium.
That's going to be a great game. But how much we look into Ukraine now? Ukraine plays Slovakia. Next, who saw? We obviously were no pushovers, but is somebody from Ukraine in your thoughts now?
Yes, Lunin. For a Real Madrid keeper, I was surprised how poor he was. Like those two of those calls shouldn't have been conceded. Like in my notes, when I'm watching game, I just write like one or two sentences. It said target Ukraine goalkeeper. Like
I
because
don't think he's going to start the next game.
and I don't think he's going to start again. Yeah, it's just poor goalkeeping performance. Stanku, we shouted out as well. Man of the match, really good performance from him.
Let's talk Belgium. And I think the one thing we can unite on as Chelsea and Manchester United fans are the Lukaku tears.
We knew. We just knew.
I forgot how annoying he is. He's constantly just has this point. He's just constantly pointing, complaining. And then once you get him the ball, he completely fumbles it.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, though. I would be in no hurry to sell him.
No,
Genuine.
I just love that he completely floated. I know he will do better, and they were possibly hard done by with the Snicko used for the second goal. That was the first time I've seen that.
Scott and slip right there. I was surprised that they did that. I think it's like genuinely the first thing that comes to my mind is game's gone, man. If you're using a sneakometer for something like this, game's gone, man. Like it had no impact on the play, etc. I don't like to discuss refereeing decisions, but like that got me going. I'm like, poor guy deserves that goal. I thought Belgium were good. They just didn't finish their chances.
And Slovakia could have scored more. There was one very good save by the Belgian keeper, I remember. So Slovakia, again, a team we need to take seriously.
Yeah, and given that Romania play Belgium, for those on Wildcard or Limitless Matchday 2, I think the Belgian defense is a swerve.
That's a good shout.
Yeah,
especially because we don't have the upside guy. De Kuyper, how do you pronounce it? De Kuyper, whatever. Yeah. He didn't start. It was interesting. He actually played Doku at wing back.
Just to give our users an insight, how did your Matchday 1 go, man?
I got about 48 points. I think I still stuck with Words Captain. We'll talk about the whole sticker twist thing over there. So I had Words Captain, Gundogan, and I think Gehi who got me points. That's about it.
Man, I've got 52 or 53, I think. Most of that is Jude captaincy that came through. I was very close to doing Gundogan and De Kuyper to Words and Face in the last 2 minutes. The transfer didn't go through, and that cost me 10 points right there. Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, we're having fun here. There's no regret out here, right? But Pedri, Soboslai, and Gundogan all came in with 5 pointers. The fun bit is I managed to pick 3 non-playing defenders. I had Frimpong. I got sucked into that tweet from that supposed Netherlands news aggregator where Dumfries made a comment that it looks like I won't be starting. Yeah. I got in Mele, who didn't start. And I got in De Kuyper. So I got 3 people who didn't start. Do you have
Cancelo? The rumors that Cancelo isn't starting tonight.
Isn't starting?
There's rumors, yep.
Oh, wow, that would be lovely. Yeah, because I'm betting against him. Yeah, I am I was betting. I didn't have Mappe yesterday as well. So I saw the first 45 minutes and I'm like, if I watch the second half, it's not going to be good for my heart. So you better go to sleep. But yeah, I don't have any of those defenders at the moment. Interesting that there's no Cancelo.
Yeah, the France result isn't on here. So let's just talk about them a little bit. The news we have now is that Mbappe would likely not play any further part in the group stages.
Yeah, that opens up space.
Somebody else will shine, right, for France, because it's too good a team to not.
Their squad depth is insane. And if you saw the game, Griezmann was really good. He was coming in some really good attacking positions as well. And if it is Giroud and not Kolo Muani that starts instead of Mbappe, I think Giroud is good for a player like Griezmann as well, because he'll put him inside, etc. as well. I think Griezmann, who might be on penalties as well, is just a good shout as a 9 million striker in Matchday 2. And I'm not too bothered about the Mappe injury or them playing Netherlands. They played Netherlands twice in the qualifiers, beat them 4-0 once and 4-1 once. I mean, obviously, Mappe was playing and he got a brace.
I love that you called him Mappe a third time. Sorry, I had to say that.
I need to get Mbappe. We'll speak to Mbappe.
No, that's fine. I think you made your quota of the last spot, so I think we need to stay true to self now. I really shouldn't have corrected you. We should have kept it going.
Thank God you did it. I can't even see the chat right now because for some reason I can't open YouTube, so I'm just riding solo in away territory at the moment. So we'll say unfamiliar surroundings for the reason for the mispronunciations.
Man, let's have a look now at the next round. Some of the projections we have here from Rob.
Before we do that, let's do some chip talk, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, like just a little bit of change of pace. Let's talk about you. Why aren't you using a chip at the moment?
So I'm on a similar strategy to Prus. I want to use my wildcard in the later round after the round of 16. So what I did over here, right in the beginning, I tripled up on Germany. I tripled up on Portugal. I tripled up on Belgium. I got a couple of England. So these 11 guys were my core, along with Mbappe, Di Marco, Achipi, and Lunin. Right. So ultimately, what I'm looking at now, and let's see now which teams have the best fixed. Let's say the goal projections. Let's look at this now. For Matchday 2, you have Germany, Belgium, Portugal up there as a top three, and England as a fifth. So I already have 11 players on the teams that are projected to like get the most goals, clean sheets, etc., over this round. So I think I have 2 free transfers to use. So I can bring in a couple. I can get rid of Mbappe. I can get in a Baumgartner, say, for that day 3 captaincy. So I don't really think I need to.
Fair shot. Fair shot. And if you're somebody who doesn't have a huge chunk, and I like, we're really playing a game where there is no genuinely ideal strategy. You feel like you're 5 or 6 players away from your ideal team in Matchday 2, and you've seen enough information for you to act on it, because there are fixtures that people have to target, right? That people don't probably have players from, which is the Croatia Albania fixture. The Austria Poland fixture comes to my mind. And what else? There was one other team where a fixture comes, or getting somebody like Jude, who you didn't have in the first place. If you feel like there are these players and teams that you want to target that you don't have players from, use the Limitless.
Or also defenders, right? We have like Pirlo Spen in our chat, who has a lot of defenders who are not playing now. It's tricky because a lot of these fullbacks might actually come back the next game. Like, let's say if Cancelo is benched today, there's no guarantee that he will be benched the next game as well. The fullbacks and the defense is where these guys rotate the most. So that's also a bit tricky. People are thinking about wildcarding primarily for this reason, because a lot of their players didn't start. So that's also a valid reason, but it's not, I think, a completely convincing reason for me, because you don't know how these managers are going to react in the next game.
Yeah. I'm just not fully convinced we're going to need a wildcard in Matchday 5. Like, that's my main projection. I'm sitting on 3 non-playing defenders, so it's really easy for me. So I think by now you should really decide whether you want to or not. And
but
whether
why
you should
wildcard over the Limitless? Let's talk about that.
I built a draft and I was tinkering in terms of what to do with my team, especially with Mbappe out, especially with Spain playing Italy. You don't want wanting too much coverage from that game. With England playing Denmark, you're not wanting too much coverage, and France playing Netherlands. Like, it's fairly easy to build a team. Like, I can have a Ronaldo, Lukaku, Kane strike for us, and have pretty much all the players I want outside of that as well. I think the real big players are from the other teams at the moment. So I just built a team. I was happy. I didn't feel like I was cutting corners for a Matchday 2 squad with a wildcard, which is why I just decided to use a wildcard. Now, obviously, we could not need a Limitless in Matchday 3 because groups could be decided, etc. as well. But my argument is we don't know what we don't know. And if groups aren't decided, I can get bigger and better players from these teams. That's all.
Yep. Like, you look at the cheapy teams now, you have Switzerland who play Scotland, Croatia who play Albania, Austria who play Poland. You have the good options over there. Now you switch to Matchday 3. The top teams are Germany. We target Spain, England, France, Belgium, and Portugal. So these are the teams you see in green and Attica, and Netherlands also potentially, right? So these are the teams you have expensive options from. You don't have as many cheap options in Matchday 3, and I think that's the reason I advocated saving the Limitless for them.
Yeah. And even with Limitless, I think pricing is such that maybe you go 5-6 million over your budget. You don't need to buy an expensive player for the sake of it. Like, it's all right, like, don't pick the player for its merit. Don't have a price pass. That's all I say. Because one thing, the couple of learnings that I've had from Matchday 1 is center backs are underrated. I tweeted about it early where, we are looking at these attacking wing backs, and center backs just have a very high floor.
Got 5 points after conceding. It's mad.
Like, you're getting a very high 4 to 5 point floor for center backs. If they're cleaning, you're hitting 10, 11 points. And if you really think about it, 2 ball recoveries is likelier than getting an assist for an attacking wing back. So start thinking about center backs more. And I forgot what my second learning was. I completely forgot. Yeah.
Second learning is Mbappe's pronunciation, maybe.
Mbappe's pronunciation.
But yeah, let's just go back to this. Let's have a look at the top clean sheet odds, and I'll just read them out for the guys who are on audio. So Germany, Croatia, Switzerland, England, and Belgium, along with Portugal, not so much, Portugal at 36%, have the top odds for the clean sheets. And they're quite similar in terms of goals as well. Germany, 2.5 is significantly ahead. Then you have Croatia at 1.9, Belgium 2.1, Portugal at 2. Czechia at 1.7 is also interesting, I think, but I don't think there are as many options over there. Czechia. Oh, Schick. Okay.
Yeah.
Possibly there. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about these guys. I think Germany, we already spoke about the triple up. I think there's one you have to go there. I think you do. I still like Middlestat. He was quite
Yeah.
attacking, 3 shots, decent attacking chances as well.
I'll just say, like, let's do this match by match, and then we'll look at like.
We can skip a few
you'll-
games, like I think the ones that are
Yeah.
not as much of interest. But yeah, let's go match by match.
And I think we should like switch between this slide and the one where you have like the day-wise schedule, which probably gives us an idea of how to build our squad, right? So we'll do it from a transfer point of
Yes,
view as yeah. So can you place them next to each other while I'll just talk
Let's go
about Germany?
I'm not that technology inclined, but I have them like we'll remember them. I have them
All
written
right,
down
cool.
away.
Cool. So, on the first day, you have Croatia, Albania, Germany, Hungary. Like I just want to point one sort of strategical thing. If you're building a wildcard squad, is that this is sort of top and bottom heavy in terms of the fixtures you want to target. So on 19 June, you have Croatia versus Albania. We saw the clean sheet odds, etc. Plus, we're getting the lineup. So you'll want 2 or 3 Croatia. Germany versus Hungary looks like one of the games that we want to target. That also happens on the first day. Scotland versus Switzerland, we are looking at probably Swiss players like Kanji. So we come into a situation where we could possibly have 6, 7, even 8 players from the first day of match day 1. I see what you're doing. You're inserting a second image here.
I'm trying to.
All right. You can do that. I'll talk about the strategic
Just
point
have
of
a
view.
look. I'll just bring it in.
Yeah. And the second thing that I want to mention is on the last day, we have Turkey versus Portugal and Belgium versus Romania, which are sort of the 2 standout fixtures. So day 2 and day 3 of match day 2 look a little light, because on the second day you have Slovenia versus Serbia, Denmark versus England, and Spain versus Italy. So like not perfect. Just can you pull this in? Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll make it larger.
And pull it over Lukaku's face. So we're good. Yeah. This is great. This is great. We don't need to move from this. We can absolutely hang on this slide. So yeah, man, you can see day 2, you have Slovenia versus Serbia. Maybe you go Sesko or you go Vlahovic or Mitrovic. You have Denmark versus England. Maybe you throw in a Kane or a Bellingham, so you have a captaincy option for the day. Spain versus Italy is difficult to call. You probably get an attacker. I don't really like defense from either teams this match day. Then you're talking about 21st June. Again, Slovakia versus Ukraine. Maybe a Slovakia defender like Hanko or something. Poland versus Austria. You get like a Baumgartner or a Lewandowski. Let's not underplay Poland too much. And then Netherlands versus France. Now that Mbappe isn't there, you just get an attacker as an option, as a captaincy option for the day. So it's almost like you're going to treat 20th June and 21st June as getting maybe 2, 3, 4 players, but at least just getting a captaincy option from each day. Because I think this match day is very 19th June and 22nd June heavy. I actually don't mind that. Because, the players that don't perform, you can just...
I like that bookended. So you can actually have a punch in the middle. But let's just talk about stick or twist, right? What is your threshold? Now, I think somebody has a words, I got 10 points, I was happy to stick. Yeah. Would you have done similar?
No. I wouldn't have done similar, and I think it's fine. I think for people that have a Bruno or a Ronaldo today, it's fine. I mean, Mbappe was an open goal away from getting 11, 12 points in that game. So I don't think it's that big a deal. That said, the threshold needs to be 10 or lower for this game because you don't have a standout captaincy option match day 2 or 3. Like I felt like match day 1, you had 5 days. Match day 2, you have 4 days. And like the options on day 2, day 3, day 4 for match day 1 were way stronger than the options you're going to have on day 2 and day 3 this match day. So maybe threshold goes lower there. I think it's a sort of subjective thing. That's all.
I think I like sticking with double digits. That's usually my threshold.
Yeah. And it comes down to personality, right? Like what you do, like,
it's no surprise Pras and I have stuck.
Yeah. Like the argument, like when 3 of us have a group chat, surprise, and Pras was like, I'm probably going to gain 2 or 3 points if I twist. And my counter argument is you're probably going to lose 2 or 3 points if you twist. Like the only thing is that the perceived downside isn't as much as you think because 1 return is probably probable, especially if you get a captain on day 1. That's the whole. That's about it. Our job is to present the arguments. Then you see if you're a Zoff or an LR and decide what you want to do.
Correct. But yeah, what you're mentioning is spot on. It's tricky because the best projections are for the teams playing on the 19th and the 22nd.
Correct. Exactly. Right. So that's the thing, like how heavy can you go on the last days also? Like if you get really lucky I want to ask you this. You have like a Bruno Fernandes and a Cancelo. Let's assume Cancelo plays. Would you sub out a 4 point to put Cancelo in?
Yes, because Cancelo is a very high upside defender. It's not like a face, right, from a Belgium like centre back who expect to get like a 6 or 7.
Got it. So 4 or 5 point player you wouldn't mind subbing out.
It also depends who you're subbing in. Now, Cancelo is the guy you think has double-digit potential. In which case you go for it.
Cool. So now what we'll do is we'll just talk matchups and best captaincy options for each day.
Yes,
that should put us to.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Croatia versus Albania, we pretty much covered. Mayor, watch out if Perisic is starting. Watch out for team news. And I think just act on it because we're going to get the lineups. So, we mentioned Stankovic.
Do you like Kramaric as an Mbappe replacement for somebody like me who has to make a transfer?
Yeah, why not? But he doesn't seem like a name that jumps out to me. I feel like you can do better. I feel like I'd back a Griezmann over and Kramaric. Like just back good team, good player over somebody like that.
Yeah, and I need a captain on that day as well. So we'll talk about that. Currently looking at Baumgartner for that reason.
Yeah, great pick. I like Baumgartner. So I think would you double up on defense, Croatia? Especially that we have a 4 million defender.
I like the goalkeeper, Livakovic. I think his name. I think he's one of the outstanding options for 5 million. I would rather like a double up with a goalkeeper and a defender rather than 2 outfield players.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know. It's just a very FPL thing. I like my defenders to have more upside. Right? I think you can do better than unless it's a budget thing.
Yeah.
And again,
also like
I think
if you
the
think about
goalkeeper feels quite. Then you can possibly go for somebody cheaper like a Pence or something later on, right? If you get into like your clean sheet early.
I actually wonder if you're onto something because let's say if Croatia concede a goal, then you have only 3 other defenders coming in. Exactly. I feel like eggs and baskets might be a thing in this sort of a format where you can sort of split the difference a little because you're getting multiple chances at clean sheets.
Correct. That was my thinking with the Germany also. If you remember, my first draft had Tah in instead of Gundogan. And that was my thinking, like these guys go, then literally have only 3 guys have no options left.
Good shot. I was thinking of a Croatian defensive double up, but I'm rethinking again. Cool. But Germany versus Hungary.
I think Musiala is probably the captaincy option for the game. This one. I was so impressed by him, man. I think Gundogan, yes, but I just loved. I haven't watched him much. I was so impressed by him. I love these kind of players who do the ball progression, the ball carries, the dribbles. Fantastic player.
Would you pick Kai over the midfielders?
I think they're better forward options.
You think they're better forward options? If somebody's on Limitless, I don't mind a shout on Kimmich. He was really, really attacking. Is he a midfielder or a defender in this game?
I think he's a midfielder.
If he was a defender, I'd be really, really interested because I thought he was really good in the game. Sort of, wouldn't mind spending, but middle stat seems fine. I think middle stat plus 2 midfielders is the way to go. And I think pick any 2. At the moment, I have Wirtz and Gundo in my draft because I feel like Wirtz is the goal scorer and I genuinely have a feeling about Gundo. Just have a feeling. I don't feel like letting go of the love there.
I think he is still on penalties. That was probably Kai took the last one because Gundo had the injury problem right from the tackle. I think Gundo probably takes them.
But I wonder if he still takes them because if somebody's taken it and scored, then do you want to like change the momentum?
Correct. We didn't mention Guardiola, right? He's a lock.
Lock. Absolute lock. Attacking potential, ball recoveries potential, clean sheet potential. Like genuine upside defender. That's why Stankovic on the other side was quite attacking as well. That's why I sort of liked him as a pick.
Now, Scotland, I don't think we are going to be going for McTominay. I don't know. There was a lot of build-up and hype in our pre-pod, but I think you go with the Switzerland guy. Like you said, Vargas is a good option. Cher had a lot of shots as usual. He did this one particular run. We got all the way in the box. At no point I expected him to pass. There are 2 open passes he could have taken, but he shot straight at the defender.
Share was sharing, and if you fancy it, I have no comms if you go for a share. Absolutely no problem.
3 shots.
Akanji is the ball recovery guy. I feel like getting a Swiss defender is a good shout. Generally.
I'd get Akanji though. Akanji, like you said, it's like a ceiling of floor of 8 to 9.
Yeah. And then there's the wing back if you fancy some attacking threat, Widmer, 4.5 million.
And you mentioned Vargas, right? At 6 million.
Yeah. 6 million. Shaqiri non-option because they're going to manage his minutes.
But he didn't play the last game. I do expect him to start this one because he said he struggles for games every 3 days. He could play this one.
Could play this one. Similar with Embolo. Would you take a punt on Embolo? I've always been impressed with him every time
we've always looked, I think he's been linked to Manchester United several times, right? During the transfer window.
Yeah, but like not like genuine like
Yeah, paper talk.
what's
But
it?
the thing
Paper
is,
talk.
3 days, what's going to change, right? 3-4 days. It's not like he got like the last 20 odd minutes. I don't expect him to start yet. Maybe something we see in the knockout stages if they get through.
Cool. That's it. Are there any keepers, cheap keepers from this team? Rajkovic is from Serbia, so that's on the next day.
Later on. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
I like the Croatian keeper for this one.
I think in my draft, I had a keeper.
From Albania, maybe? You got a cheapie?
No. There was a 4 million keeper somewhere else also. Just hold on.
I think Austria or Poland. That's the one I had.
Pence. Pence is
yeah.
from Poland. Poland, I think. Austria. Pence is from Austria.
That's what I remember. I had him in my draft as well, which I submitted for scout.
Yeah. Cool. So I think that's Switzerland covered, man.
So
Would you be
captain
okay
option here if you had to pick one?
German made, but I'll tell you what, Guardiola is a good outside shout.
Do you think there's a 10 plus potential there? I guess
there is a 10 plus potential there.
Yeah, I can't really shit on Guardiola after all he did for me in FPL. So yeah. Go Guardiola.
And I'm telling you, I've got Perisic Weiss, man. Like if he starts, I think I'm throwing him in there. Like he's just genuinely a good player in this format. His cameo was impressive as well. I think he had 3 shots or something in the short time.
His cameo, you're right.
Yeah. And Meyer is somebody everybody else fancies who got a brace as well. So that's your day one. So standout captaincy option for you, Musiala.
I like Musiala.
Yeah, good man of the match potential. Oh, that's also a thing with Guardiola. Man of the match potential is right up there as well.
Look at the next one now. I think this one is a little bit trickier. Let's have a look at Slovenia versus Serbia first. Again, I wouldn't touch the Serbian defense. Up top between Mitrovic and Vlahovic, who do you like?
Mitrovic is the focal point, but I thought Vlahovic was really good against England. And he was sort of involved in everything that Serbia did that was good. The only thing is, like if they get Tadic into the game, will they go with 2 strikers again? There's a little bit of a doubt in terms of like...
There is.
And I feel like if you're in a game where there are good options that are nailed on, don't chase the upside with such picks, because I've been burnt having 3 non-playing defenders. So go for somebody who you're sure is going to play.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other options from Serbia?
I mean, people would want to go for their defense, but I'm not convinced yet. And I think
I'm not either. I think Slovenia
actually
can score.
Really fancy Sesko as a punt. I thought I saw enough from Slovenia in the second half against Denmark to fancy Sesko as a punt. And he's just a class player, I think.
Do you still think the Serbian defense is as bad as we thought?
No. They did really well. But I wonder how this game will shape up. Because Serbia lost their first game. So they have to win this game. So they can't sit back and shut shop like they did against England. This is a must-win game for them. Will that leave? So I expect to be a much more open game in general. So I in fact think Slovenian counter-attack, which is why I fancy Sesko as a punt.
Decent shout.
Yeah.
Denmark versus England.
Wait, I had noted down some players from Serbia and Slovenia, so I'll just shout them out. It's difficult to remember their names. Perisic did have 3 shots, by the way. While I find them, you can talk about the next team.
Yeah, I think Denmark versus England. I was actually thinking of shipping Kane prior to the Mbappe news. And you mentioned that Kane is potentially one of the better captaincy shouts for this day. And I see where you're coming from. Because I wouldn't want to go near Spain versus Italy. I don't think I'd be bringing in Eriksen as a captaincy option. I think it will be Kane for me on this day.
Yeah, man. It's a good option. And I don't think you can keep a man like Harry Kane down for too long in a big tournament like this. He's just class. Like I don't know if I'm stupidly building a narrative, but my psychology says that just because he had such a quiet first game, I think he's due in the second game. Like I'm thinking of getting him in on my wildcard or limitless. Wildcard. I've activated my wildcard, so I'm thinking of getting him on my wildcard because I think he's a standout captaincy option. Him or Jude are standout captaincy options.
What about Spain versus Italy? If you had to pick one player.
I'll ask you a question though, Zoff. Would you throw a Guehi in?
Yes.
You think clean sheet?
I think it's a money thing. But I think you could probably go if you're using a chip from other options. Because Denmark, I think they did impress. I think they are very capable of scoring. But if it's a budget thing, I like Guehi.
All right, but like I feel like there are better clean sheet shouts out there.
Especially like you said, in Croatia, you can find somebody in that case as well.
And the
You'd
thing
go
is,
for
like, England doesn't have a pick like they had with Shaw, like where you have like decent attacking.
I would get Trent if I was using the chip.
I just don't think he starts. Like, I think Gallagher might be aware. So again, there's a little bit of a question in terms of whether he's going to start or not. Like Gallagher could come in,
Because he
etc.
had
Right? So
3 shots again that game, which was a game high total. So
no,
it's an
but I'm
upside
not.
return to go for.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced about his starting. And I thought he was a little loosey goosey, man, in that game. Like he gave away the ball more than a few occasions. I just think you need to play Gallagher there. I think England will be better off for it.
Yeah, I can't refute a Gallagher start.
Yeah,
But then, yeah, Spain versus Italy. If you had to pick one, just one one player from this game.
tough.
So
Really tough.
how do you think it goes? Let's call a scoreline. 2-1 Spain.
Like you can't. No, I think 1-1. Like I Spain are the better team, but Italy show up. Italy really know how to show up in those games, and I think 1-1. But if I had to pick a player just for talent and announcement to the world, it'd be 16-year-old Jamal Lewis. Let's go for it. Like fun, on it player. Yeah. Pedri's still a good option, but the 60-minute sub worried me. He looked a little tired.
Fair dues, but again, so standout captaincy shout this day, 28th June.
Kano Jude,
An England player.
an England player. An England attacker. I don't think an
attacker,
England. Yeah. But see, like, if you're somebody who wants to swerve England, and if you have somebody like a Sesko, I don't mind it. You know, if you want to play the value game and hoard the slightly better fixtures on paper, that's all.
I think in that fixture, I might favor Vlahovic more.
Fair shot. Fair
But
shot.
yeah,
I just think
I'd prefer the England attackers over them.
cool. Let's go to
the next one is
21st
actually tricky.
Slovakia versus Ukraine. There's actually a very attacking Slovakian defender who comes with a high pedigree, 4.5 million, Hanko. Remember we said he got some double digit despite
At centre back.
No, his wing back. He was really
but
good.
now
and
he's playing wing back. I think he got some
Yeah.
3 or 5. I think he got 5 goals in the league while playing at centre back.
No, he was wing back when he's very attacking.
Well,
Sort
now
of like
he's wing back. I meant for his club, he used to play at centre back, and he got 5 goals during the season.
Really, I didn't know he was playing as centre back for his club.
Yeah.
It's a marauding sort of player, etc. as well. And Ukraine really didn't show anything. So, but that's it. Like, I don't rate that Slovakia defense. They conceded a ton of chances to Belgium.
I don't think you really go for this fixture. Any players on a chip.
Yeah, there is Haraslin. I was looking for if there was an attacking midfielder from Ukraine, from Slovakia. So he was the attacking midfielder who was on show, who was slightly attacking from the Slovakian team. If you're looking for a midfielder, Ukraine put it together, then Sudakov.
He was probably the best player, I think. Sudakov.
Probably the best player, decent punt. Yeah.
But I can feel spunty when you have so many, I think, more certain things on this chip. Now, Poland versus Austria is a game I'm actually looking forward to watching.
Yeah, man. I think fairly comfortable to say Baumgartner is nailed in my draft. I was really impressed with Austria. It's a team I want to support. He had 3 goals, 4 assists, or 4 goals, 3 assists, one way or the other, in the qualifiers as well. Look really good, man. And was the furthest forward amongst all the midfielders. So he's pretty much a lock.
The pressing was awesome. You could see his proper Ranić, right? You could see Ranić when he has a club that listens to him, players that listens to him, can get a tune out.
Exactly. And he's got good results, man. Generally got good results. Australia have been doing well. So yeah, Sabitzer is a decent option. And if you're in the market for a cheap striker, actually their striker got a hat-trick in the friendly just before the qualifiers.
But he got subbed at 58, right? I was having a look at him earlier. I think he did.
Let me quickly check for you, man. Then that's a problem.
You had mentioned him earlier when I was shopping for my Mbappe replacement. I had looked at him earlier. I think he got subbed early, which kind of put me off. But yeah, let's talk Lewandowski, man. I think if we get news that Lewandowski, who was been pictured in training, potentially a captaincy shout, I think.
I don't rate Poland.
But even Austria, again, I think they were attacking, but they played the high line. They did get a lot of runners in behind, so I do think Poland will get chances.
You're right. Gregory did get subbed off in the 59th minute, so that's an issue for you.
Yeah, I don't trust that.
But I don't know, man. I just don't trust Poland. But you're right. They'll be attacking and Poland will get chances. But it's just, I feel like we're
talismanic. If you ask me, right, like you said, Baumgartner is probably the one for Austria. Now with France, Mbappe gone, we don't really have somebody I can say that, yeah, this is the guy I want to bank on. Out of all these like 9 teams on this day, I think Lewandowski feels like the one with the most focal point.
Yes. Yeah, but I feel like that's valuing the name more than the team strength. It's just
That's true.
because we know it's Leva and he's a known commodity.
And he's
Like that's about
expensive.
it.
He's
He's
9.5.
coming from an injury also, so how fit is he? All of that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
60, 70 is what we are thinking.
Yeah, so I just don't fancy it. I'd much rather captain a Griezmann over
Good
because
player, good team.
good player, good team. France are much more all-rounded. I don't think the Dutch defense were really, really good or something of that sort. So I don't mind an attacker sort of from France if you want to captain.
Shout out to N'Golo Kante, man.
What a player. What a player. Also, I think we got off not owning Theo, what's his last name?
Theo Hernandez.
Hernandez, man. So good. So attacking.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many people didn't pick him. He was in my team until the whole injury doubt.
Exactly. Like incredibly attacking as a player. I just one for Matchday 3 for sure.
Talking about Depay, I thought you were pretty unlucky not to get any returns from him.
Just really good, man. He's always going to be involved. The thing is, he's talismanic for that Dutch team. Like he did really well in the last Euros as well. And I was happy with the process in this game. It just didn't work out. He's a good pick. That's all.
Combe in the chat is asking a very relevant question. If I get rid of Mbappe, I will have no captain for third day in match day 2. Who do you go for now? If you had to pick a forward option from these 9 teams, who you would captain?
Griezmann.
Would it be Griezmann?
Griezmann. Oli Giroud facilitates Griezmann.
Yeah. That's a good shout. I think I'd probably go with him over Lewandowski instead.
And pens and man of the match potential. He always does it for France.
Yeah. I think somebody will want to shine, right? Because all the news is about Mbappe. So somebody in the team will want to step up and show. What about Thuram?
Good option. Genuinely good option. I just think Griezmann is a much more known quantity. Somebody we are comfortable with. Capable of scoring as well as assisting. So that's where I am.
Good
Actually, I'm thinking about him on my wildcard as well.
Yep.
It's just also like we are optimizing X fun as well, right? Just a good player to own to watch. Like you like owning quality players as well. So why not?
Spot on. So, but nobody from Netherlands on chip.
No, man. The France defense is. I mean, we saw they weren't that good.
The midfield is what makes France, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't get Saliba though. I still have my doubts. He was a little dodgy in that game as well.
But they kept a clean sheet. I think Deschamps will stick.
I'm not sure that header that Sabitzer put down for Baumgartner was Saliba's fault. He was off position for that header, so I don't know. Man.
If you had to pick one as a captaincy option, Baumgartner or Griezmann?
Griezmann.
That's interesting. That's a dilemma for me, so it's a very specific question. I can only get one.
Yeah, Griezmann for me.
Fair shot.
If you own somebody like Depay and not using a chip, I think it's fine by the way.
Yeah, because I do think there's goals in that game. I don't think France are keeping a clean sheet necessarily. I think Netherlands can score.
Yeah.
So your standout for this day is probably be Griezmann then.
Griezmann and Baumgartner are the two standout picks for me this day.
But this is the trickier day of all the 4, I think.
Correct.
Now the next one, we actually have a lot of options. I haven't really looked at the Czech guys very closely. Is there anyone there we can get?
Sheik, watch out for him today when you're scouting a little later because he's their guy. He was actually, I think, joint top scorer or second scorer in the Euros last time around as well. He did really well. He's the striker for Czechia, so watch out for that. Souček tends to do well on ball recoveries, and whether he plays DM or an advanced role. If he plays an advanced role, a 6 million midfielder who's an option.
I think this game he gets more license with the opposition.
Yeah. So think about that. And Sufal does really well. He plays in a very attacking role for Czechia. If Georgia look like they're going to be poor, then you can go for Sufal as well. And watch out for Kvaratskhelia, who's apparently all the rage amongst these UCL fantasy players as well. So somebody to scout today from Georgia is that guy. And if you're looking for a 4.5 million Chakutadze, there you go. I got the name right again. So these are the games. We don't know how good or bad Georgia are, so we scout them and then we see. But these are the options you need to look out for while scouting.
Again, we haven't watched Turkey play either.
Yeah, but the thing is, so how many players are you going to get from Georgia versus Czechia? Because You're probably going to have 3 to 4 from Portugal and Belgium.
Yeah,
So,
not many.
so
I was
I
just
feel
wondering.
like I don't like the idea of getting 6 from day 6 because you're getting 2 players who are starting as well as 3 on the bench. Like it needs to be a little balanced. That's why I don't mind more top heavy, but I don't want to be very bottom heavy also.
Makes sense. You're right about
Yeah,
that. And again, Turkey had a good team, and we haven't seen much of Portugal. But is Ronaldo somebody you're considering?
nailed, nailed. He's coming into my team. Wildcard. Like I am scared of him and owners today. Like he does it on the big stage, man. And the team he has around him is incredible.
Like, let's say if it comes down to for somebody like a Ronaldo versus Bruno for today, somebody watches a pod before the kickoff. Who do you like more?
For captaincy, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, right? It was no brainer for me in the chat
Everybody's
also.
giving me the reason in terms of ball recoveries, extra goal for screw all that. Ronaldo's the man. He's just the man. Like I go back to day one. I don't know if it was the World Cup or the Euros. Hat trick against Spain, first day. Like he's the guy who's capable of lighting up the tournament, and no one has really done it so far.
I'm expecting Ronaldo to explode tonight.
Yeah, same. So Ronaldo, man, like don't think twice about it. He's just the man.
I think the defense is potentially skippable if we see some uncertainty around the wing backs today.
Yeah, but like if you see a good performance from one of the wing backs, then you get them. That's about it. Like you watch the game and you know, okay, that this guy cemented his position. That's about it.
Right. Belgium versus
Happy
Romania.
for my boy Diogo though, breaking into the Portugal first team. If he did,
He's had a good season. You have to say he deserves it. He's been the
he was our
standout
top
player.
3 players this
I think he's
season.
your player of the season as well, right?
Player of the season.
Players, yeah, that's what I value most.
Yeah. So yeah. But you know, lots to scout in Portugal. Like today, like who's playing the attacker on the left side? Is Diogo Jota play? Is Rafa Leo a shout? Who starts as the centre back with Ruben Dias? All of that is information that we'll act on because Turkey versus Portugal is a fixture to target in Matchday 2.
Yep. The last one, Belgium, Romania. Again, I think Lukaku is still worth including, no matter how much fun we poked at him. I do think they will bounce back.
Yeah,
I think, like
and
you said,
they have no option.
Who?
Stankui. No, I'm saying they have no option.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like Belgium have to at least draw this. Because there are some groups in which third place is a factor. I don't quite understand how that works, but you know they can't afford to lose.
Would you include Trossard or De Bruyne?
Trossard had a poor game, so not him. De Bruyne, I wouldn't mind as a differential. He's Kevin De Bruyne.
He is Kevin De Bruyne. He started playing a little bit deeper as the game wore on, as he often does for City. I didn't think Trossard was that bad. He still got into his streak pretty much as a second forward.
It's just that they have options, right? As
like but there are too many players, like you said, for the final day. So I think I would skip Trossard there.
Yeah, and I'd skip the defense also. I genuinely don't fancy a Belgian clean sheet against Romania, based on what Romania showed us in day one.
Standout captain Ronaldo, or is it Lukaku?
Ronaldo.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I want to rely on Ronaldo last day if shit comes. So like I don't have as much. I think I don't know if it's United FPL sort of hangover, but I don't have as much trust in Bruno as a captaincy option as much as I have in Ronaldo.
Fair shot.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's just discuss the Twitter template tip we have from FPL Sweep for those guys who are using a chip this week. Somewhere up here. Yes, there we go.
Is that our boy FPL Sweep's team, or is that
That is FPL Sweep's team.
Nice. So he's gone Ronaldo, Havertz. Interesting Havertz. So if he keeps penalties, it's not a bad shot. Like now that we've discussed the options of strikers, Ronaldo, Lukaku, I think it's Ronaldo, Lukaku +1.
That's what he's gone with as well.
Yeah. That's what.
Let's read out the rest for the audio, guys. It's got Baumgartner, Meyer, Bellingham, Wirtz, Akanji.
And Bruno. And Bruno.
Sorry. I'm just reading them out as 11. I keep forgetting that thing. Akanji, Guardiola, Trent, Middlestat, and Cancelo, and Pence and Stanek as goalkeepers. He's gone super cheap with the keepers.
Even I'll probably go super cheap. Pence and the other 4 million keeper, not Stanek.
Who is the other 4 million you're thinking about? From which country?
Serbian keeper.
Okay. Fair shot.
Rajkovic, his name is.
Yeah, I can't really fault this. Looks pretty solid. You have the Croatian guys, you have your English guys, German triple up.
No
have a
English
captaincy.
attacker. Oh, he has Bellingham.
He has
Yes, he has
Bellingham.
Bellingham.
So
Yeah.
that gives him the captaincy shout for that day, right?
Yeah, he's well covered across all. Does he have a captaincy option from day 3 here? Baumgart? No.
Yeah,
Who's
Baumgartner's
it?
right there. Baumgartner,
Baumgartner's.
Kane, the Germany guys, and then you have your Lukaku, Ronaldo.
Sounds
It's well
good, man.
covered.
That sounds a good path. I think that's it, man. It's a short turnaround time, so I want to make sure we end this pod on time. You will probably see us on Friday evening, if not Friday evening, Saturday morning, for the Matchday 3 pod. Until then, any last words off?
Nothing much. No like and subscribe plug yet, guys. You already know the drill. We wanted to save time, so give us a like. We hope you're enjoying the content. And again, I've seen a few guys getting a bit disappointed with how the scores have gone so far. It's quite early. A lot of the tournament still to be played. Lots of points to get on board. I think the teams will get better as they find their feet to tournament. So don't give up yet. Enjoy the format. And we saw the FPL fixtures today. Let's just get a 2-minute discussion for that.
You showed me your first draft. How does that triple
Fulham.
United?
Triple Fulham.
You said triple United, man. And that's the first game, man. That's the first game. Well, I think from memory, United did have a good start of the season. I think Salah looks like the most locked-in premium there is because Liverpool had a good start as well. I think Newcastle United had a decent start.
I haven't looked so closely. I know that Chelsea play Man City, so I don't mind getting Man City players early doors.
Yeah. Pep and Pep's doppelganger. Early doors. Have you seen that picture of both of them together in the Man City game?
They even have the same beard.
They even have the same beard. It's incredible. It's incredible. But I think Chelsea had easy fixtures after that.
Yes. I think again the City game for a Cole Palmer is not a bad game. A sad Stamford bid, so you don't mind an attacker.
I hope by the time we're talking next week, we've sort of hijacked your Olise bid, man. I was so excited about Olise, and more news keeps coming about Chelsea and Olise.
I mean, he's the kind of player that Todd likes, right? He can slap an 8-year contract, 7-year contract on that shit again.
Yeah, but I'm just hoping for a swoop in because I do know that our lot are interested with him as well. And you all have Cole Palmer, man. Like, why the hell are you all interested
Palmer's going to play number 10 apparently now.
You told me multiple times you prefer Palmer as the slightly wide so that he dribbles and comes in, etc. as well. So Todd, you don't need him, man. You don't need him. I think everybody on our pod will know. Fuck Todd, man.
On that note, goodbye and see you guys on Friday.
Take care.